They say success begins in the mind, yet most people think it's about motivation, discipline, or waking up before the sun with fire in their chest. But motivation is a spark, bright, loud, and temporary. Real success is quieter. It comes from reprogramming the mind, from rewriting the beliefs buried deep inside your subconscious, the ones formed by failure, doubt, and the words people said when you weren't strong enough to resist them. Your subconscious is a recording of everything you've been through, every rejection, every insult, every time someone said you can't. Those moments carved pathways in your mind, silent beliefs that whisper, this is who you are, this is all you'll ever be. And while the world shouts motivational quotes, your subconscious quietly pulls you back to your old identity. That's why motivation fades, because no matter how loud the speech is, if the programming behind it stays the same, you stay the same. So how do people actually change? It starts with identity. You cannot build a new life with the same self-image that built your old one. You don't succeed because you get rich, disciplined, or confident. You succeed because you become the kind of person who does those things naturally. The lottery winner who loses it all. The person who loses weight but gains it back. That's identity. The mind works to prove itself right. If you believe you're lazy, you'll act that way to stay consistent. If you believe you're not meant for success, you will sabotage every opportunity. Reprogramming begins the moment you do something small and refuse to break it. Not a massive transformation, not 5 a.m. workouts, not quitting everything overnight. Just one promise kept. Make your bed, read 2 pages, drink water before touching your phone. These things are not life-changing because of the action themselves, but because of the message they send to your brain. I do what I say I'll do. That's where self-trust is born. And once the mind trusts you, it listens. But the process is uncomfortable. Your brain was built for survival, not success. It wants routine, comfort, certainty. So every time you try to improve, it fights you. Not because you're weak, but because your brain doesn't yet understand that this new version of you is safe. That's why the beginning feels painful. That pain is not failure, it's rewiring. Neuroscientists call it neuroplasticity, the strengthening of new neural pathways. Each time you choose action over excuse, discipline over comfort, you're carving a new road in your brain. At first, it's difficult, like walking through a forest with no path. Then it becomes easier. Eventually, it becomes automatic. The mistake most people make is waiting to feel ready. But successful people don't wait. They build systems, routines that remove choice, environments that make the right action easier than the wrong one. Because willpower is weak, environment is stronger. You can't plant a seed in concrete and expect it to grow. So clean your space. Reduce distractions. Surround yourself with books, goals, people who make success feel normal, because your environment is programming you even when you're not paying attention. Another part of reprogramming is understanding dopamine. Your brain loves instant pleasure. Scrolling, junk food, comfort. Success is delayed pleasure. It gives reward slowly. That's why your brain resists it. So you must teach it to enjoy the process. Celebrate completing the workout, not just the results. Enjoy studying, not just the grades. When discipline becomes pleasure, motivation becomes irrelevant. You no longer need to be pushed. You're pulled. Along the journey, fear appears. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change. It asks, who do you think you are? But remember, those fears are echoes of old programming. They're not truth. Write them down. Challenge them. Ask, whose voice is this? Is it mine or something I inherited? Because the moment you question your thoughts, they lose power. Visualization is another tool. Not daydreaming, but strategic mental rehearsal. Athletes do it before they perform. Soldiers do it before missions. Close your eyes and see yourself doing the work. Waking early, speaking confidently, choosing discipline. Feel it. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real repetition and imagined repetition. So when the moment comes, it's not new, it's familiar. But here lies the hardest truth. You will fail. You will skip days, fall back into old habits, lose momentum. Most people quit at this stage because they think failure means it isn't working. But failure is part of reprogramming. Every time you get back up, your brain learns resilience. It learns that struggle is not a threat, it's growth. Muscles grow by tearing and repairing. Minds do too. You know the programming is changing when your old habits feel uncomfortable, when wasting time makes you restless, when discipline feels natural. People around you will notice. Some will admire you. Some will distance themselves. themselves, because your growth will remind them of their stagnation. That's the price of evolution, outgrowing the places that kept you small. And then one morning something strange happens. You wake up and do the work, not because you're motivated, but because it's simply who you are now. No resistance. No drama, just action. That is freedom. That is reprogramming. That is success before the world even notices. So understand this. Success is not an emotion. It's not a moment of inspiration. It is a program built through tiny, consistent actions, through identity shifts, through exposure to discomfort, through choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. And anyone, no matter how broken, lazy, or lost, can rewrite their code. Not in one day, not with one speech, but with a decision, repeated long enough to become truth. This is how you reprogram your mind for success. It's not motivation, it's transformation. Quiet, painful, relentless. And if you begin today, one day the world will look at you and say you're lucky, gifted, chosen. They'll never know. You just rewired your mind.